Hello, this is Dr. Liv with New Insight Counseling, and thank you for joining me in another video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and thank you to all of my subscribers. The title of today's video is A Word About Relying on External Validation, Points to Consider. We live in a society where we have to look a certain way, act a certain way, and meet certain standards and expectations in order to be liked, loved, or accepted. And all of our life experiences shape who we are and how we feel about ourselves. And these experiences include the way we were treated by family, friends, our peer groups, working relationships, community relationships, and so on. And what happens is that we learn very early to rely on external validation. For example, at home and school when we were children and teenagers, you do a good job, you get stickers, a smiley face, a high five, a fist bump, special rewards and privileges, a kiss, a hug, compliments, a happy and proud look. All of these gestures served as positive reinforcement and validation. They boost our self-esteem and sense of reward and mastery. And of course we want to maintain this and get more of it. We also learn through negative reinforcement and punishment of what not to do to avoid negative consequences and hopefully receive the love and favor that we want and need from others. So in other words, we learn what will get us validation and what won't. Then what happens is that this sets the standard for how we think, assume, and believe we need to be or perform in order to keep receiving the positive reinforcement and validation. So the problem arises or starts to arise when, let's just say, one day you do something differently, either on purpose or not on purpose. And by differently, I don't mean that it's bad, it's wrong, or poor, or inadequate, less than. It's just different. For example, one day you decide not to wear makeup. One day you decide to do your hair differently or dress differently. One day you don't text or call a person as much as you used to. It's not wrong. It's just something different from your typical way of being or doing. So you may feel a bit anxious or uneasy about it. Then when you combine this with, let's say, the person or people don't give you the same attention or accolades or validation, you start to feel like there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're not smart enough, good enough, attractive enough, successful enough, and so on. You start to develop anxiety and insecurities, doubting yourself. And this causes you to start overcompensating, chasing that validation like a drug to give you a dopamine hit and make you feel good, feel loved, special, wanted, needed, desired, and whatever else you're seeking to feel. And this is how we can get caught up with the 3 P's, as I refer to: pleasing, proving, and producing, in order to get that positive reinforcement and validation. The next thing that happens in our thought process is, after we start doubting ourselves and feeling insecurities, now we start to feel like the other person or people are not being as attentive or appreciative. Perhaps they're ignoring us or being disrespectful. They've switched up on us. Then we project these insecurities onto the person and start questioning their motives and intentions. And both of these thought processes are unhealthy and problematic. And this is because now we've become too dependent on external validation. And we don't believe in ourselves. We don't feel confident. Our self-esteem is low. Our value and self-worth is now being defined and controlled by external conditions such as what other people think and feel about us and how they treat us. And all of this fosters or produces anxious attachment and codependency. And we may also start to develop traits of perfectionism because we have it in our minds that we have to be and do things a certain way to get the positive reinforcement and validation we need. And perfectionism causes even more anxiety, stress, and frustration. The second way this thought process is problematic is because it causes tension, conflict, and disconnect between you and the other person or people. Now the other person starts to feel pressured to meet your demands of how you think they should act or treat you. And they may even feel confused or upset, depending on how you approach it, how you talk to them about your needs and concerns. They may view you as being aggressive, too needy, controlling, and then you get locked in a cycle where both of you are feeling anxious, stressed, frustrated, and unfulfilled. So to be proactive about all of this, it is so important that you learn to affirm and validate yourself. Learn to affirm and validate from within and develop secure attachment. And not to expect others or not to expect to always receive positive reinforcement and validation from external sources. It's not wrong to expect it, but it's unhealthy to expect that you will get it from the same person or people, the same way you like it, want it, need it every time or all the time. You have to be fair and reasonable. We all forget, become distracted, preoccupied, busy, sick, stressed, and you want to be able to give people grace and the benefit of the doubt, and especially when you know their character. Character and context matters. Character and context matters. So all this means is, for example, if I know overall that you're good to me, you support me, care about me, love me, treat me right, even if I did feel away or have negative thoughts, because I know your character, I'm going to let this override my negative thoughts and negative feelings. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Context. If I'm looking at context, I will understand, for example, if you were just stressed out about a work project or finances, or if you were just extra busy that day or tired. So I'm going to show or extend you grace, compassion, and understanding, as we should. And again, let this override my negative thoughts or feeling some type of way. Now, if this isn't the case and the person's character or treatment of you has changed and there's been a pattern of things being problematic over time, then of course you want to address it. But address it like a mature adult, keeping your thoughts and feelings in check and regulated, controlling your impulses, and not using an angry, aggressive, or accusatory tone. Just assertively express your thoughts and feelings, your needs and expectations. Ask questions for clarification and to get some understanding. Actively listen. Be willing to compromise. And also check yourself by holding yourself accountable if you have said or done anything to contribute to the problems. Also, and this is very, very important, you have to check your thought process. Check your thoughts. This goes back to checking those thought traps that I've discussed in previous videos, thought traps and negative core beliefs. Hold yourself accountable. Make sure you're not overreacting, jumping to conclusions, making negative assumptions, taking things personal, and that you've looked at facts and not just your feelings. We live in a society where everything is out on display. All of your business is put on Front Street, as they say. Gossip, rumor, drama spreads like wildfire through social media, and everyone judges everything. People are quick to counsel you, pop the balloon on you, so to speak. And yes, everyone has a right to his or her preferences, to speak their mind, and to say what they want and don't want. People don't have a right to lie and play games with you and manipulate you, but they do have a right to not accept you, to reject you. And we have to learn to be okay with this and respect people's preferences and their thoughts and feelings. We can't internalize it and let it cause us to get sick with anxiety and depression or anger and resentment. Instead, just know your value and worth and move on. Continue loving yourself or learn to develop self-love. Know your worth and allow people in your life that do meet your needs adequately. And again, this is assuming your needs and expectations are fair and reasonable, and that you're not projecting insecurities, anxious attachment, or trauma onto the relationship. If this is the case, you have to do your own work. You have to heal. And therefore, by doing so, you will learn to validate from within and become more securely attached. So I hope this helps. Please leave your comments down below, and we will talk soon.